Hey, Peace Family, Michelle from supersfarm here. So I was out here working with my green stalks, and I said, let me turn the camera on. Intentionality is the name of the game this season. So what I have done already, let me just show you. Here, this green stalk, I started putting my peppermints in the green stalks last year because peppermints are bullies in the garden. And so I started putting them in the green stalks because they recommend that you put them in containers. And I love the flavored mints. So this is a chocolate mint, and I've dedicated one tier of the green stalk to a flavor. This is Thai mint here. And this is, which one is this? The mojito. This is the mojito. Excuse me. And then the bottom one is strawberry. And I have two more mints. So everything is a little bit of a mess here because I'm sort of like reorganizing this whole little area. But I got these on clearance at the nursery that I've been going to. And this is called a black currant mint, and I thought that was pretty neat. And then this one here is also got on clearance, and it's a lime mint. And the reason why they put them on clearance is because the mints get kind of leggy, and of course they start to lose their color and everything. But as soon as you get them back in some good soil, get them some water, get them some sunlight, they will come back. And I had two pots on the steps here, these two pots that I'm gonna put those two mints in because I don't have any more tiers on my green stalks. Actually, I lied. Okay, I do have this top tier here, if I remember. Yes, I do have this top tier here, but what I wanted to do was line that with flowers. And then I had those two pots, so it worked out good. Now on this side over here, I've already emptied out these two tiers, and that's what I have going on here in the wheelbarrow. And I'll show you just really quickly how I refreshen the soil. But in this tier, I have two celery plants, which I'm going to transplant to the celery area in the raised bed garden. And I have these carnations, and the carnations are actually getting ready to bloom here, and I'm debating if I'm going to go ahead and try to relocate those as well or leave them there. Haven't decided yet. And then I have this chard plant, and it's a huge chard plant. Look, I don't know, can you guys see how big that stem is? Is really large. And I like having the chard plant here because I can walk over to the ducks and the geese and the goats and give them little treats, as they come. The goats are out. They're not out right now, but as they come to the fence or whatever. Excuse me, the pollen, guys. I'm so sorry for all the throat clearing. And then here are two iris plants that I have in this tier. And unfortunately, I had a lot more iris in this tier, but they didn't come back, so I think they have died. And I'm not sure if I want to relocate that. Probably will not. I don't want to risk losing those two that have been doing really well. I will just probably, actually, now that I think about it, make it the top tier of that one because that's what I wanted anyway. I wanted pretty flowers at the top. And now I have to decide what all I'm going to do with this tier. So let me show you really quickly how I refreshen the soil that I take out of my containers. It's not anything fancy, especially because the plants, it's the peppermint. And so the peppermint doesn't really need a lot to be successful. But all I do is come through here and break up the roots that are at the bottom. I break it up, and then I add compost. And I've been using this compost. I got it from Lowe's. This is my first time using that compost there, but I really like it. It's really loose. Here, I can show you. It's really loose and it looks really rich. I mean, obviously we'll be able to tell how rich it is depending on how well the plants do. But all I do is add about equal parts of compost to the existing soil. Use my shovel, mix it up really good, and then dump it into the green stalk tier. All right, I got those celery plants dug out. I went really deep into the soil because they have a lot of roots. So I wanted to make sure I got a lot of the root system. So when I transplant it, you know, they'll do well. But that soil's actually looking pretty good there. So this is a hori knife. This is what I use to dig deep to be able to get underneath a plant system and get those roots out. You know, I started these carnations from seed. I think that's why I'm hesitant to just dig them out. But sorry, I don't know what you guys were just looking at, but it wasn't what it wasn't the carnation plant. I was pulling clover. Okay, anyway, so I think I will. I'm trying to see if I can. I don't know. I probably should research this, but yeah, I feel it. There's a taproot. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so that's the carnation plant. Surprisingly, they don't have a very deep root system either. So I'm gonna transplant this as well. I was a little bit hesitant. Because I started these carnations from seed, and man, they've been growing. This will be their second year. I've got a chicken out. Those game birds, they just do their own thing. But Miss Zora, you know, she is a herder, so she keeps trying to herd the chickens back into their pen, but I don't want her to hurt them. Miss Zora hurt her leg this morning. Yeah, I was talking about you. Well, this video is going to be all over the place, but that's life on the homestead. I mean, I'm doing one thing after the other, and multiple things are happening at once. Speaking of which, there's my king. He's working on putting up an awning that my sister gave us to go in the seating area that he's also working on. So here you can see will be the little seating area to the pond. This is going to be really nice. All right, so this is the raised bed garden. If you're new to supersfarm, welcome. We are new homesteaders, and we live here in the newly acclaimed Zone 9A in East Texas, and we're just learning how to grow food and raise animals and do all the homestead things. We are both still working full-time jobs, so we are full-time homesteaders and also working full-time jobs. And this is my raised bed garden. And so now I'm looking for some place to tuck these carnations, and I have another green stalk over here. Where should we tuck these carnations? Okay, I don't have too much going on in this bed. I do have some sweet peas growing here on this trellis. I think I may drop a few more seeds because those plants are from the beginning of the fall. And I have some sweet alyssum tucked in here, and I have some onions tucked in here, and this is where I grew what was it? The sweet banana peppers were tucked in here. But for the most part, I don't really have much else going on in here. So I kind of made a little hole right here. This is where I'm gonna tuck the carnations, and I'm gonna do it so that they sort of what do you say, like trellis trail, I don't know. The direction that they will be pointing in will be sort of like over here. Previously in this section I had the Gumfrina, so that's why that hole was already kind of there, because I just pulled the whole Gumfrina plant out. All right, family, so I went and got my hori knife, and I also went back to the so I could grab the celery. And this is my celery bed here. I started this celery back in September from seed, and it's not really doing that great, which is disappointing. I didn't cover it this season. Last season when I grew it, I did have it covered because I didn't realize that celery was so frost hardy. But I think I should have covered it, because even though it obviously has survived, it's not thriving. So this whole bed was celery starts that I started from seed, but where you see the shallots, these little funny looking things, those were areas where the celery plants didn't make it, they died. So I tucked in shallots, and I have 2 more spots here. There's one, and here's one that I'm gonna go ahead and tuck in those celery transplants from the green stalk. All right, so let's go ahead and get that one watered in. Celery does love and require a lot of water and a lot of fertilizer. Just a even fertilizer is good. So, all right, family, that's gonna do it for us today. Before we go, I just wanted to show you these Aztec lily that is coming into bloom. So beautiful. These are daylilies as well. Of course, these are perennials. Thanks for hanging out with me. Just wanted to bring you guys along because I just take care of a little bit of this and a little bit of that on the homestead. Thanks for joining, family. We'll talk to you soon. Peace and blessings from Super's Farm.